two reflected ray. Which one? This reflected ray and this reflected ray meet at point I. That means these two reflected rays meet at point I. That means I point is indicate virtual image of O point. Okay, so this is the virtual image of O point. Why virtual image? Because this two refracted ray, this two refracted ray, I'm extremely sorry, this refracted ray coming along the side, because here this is a refraction, not reflection. This incident ray refracted along this side and this incident ray refracted along this side. This incident ray cannot change its original path because the incident ray passing through C point, and we know this is the normal because PC is the normal at point P, and any rays coming along, if any ray is incident along the normal, then after refraction it cannot change its original path. Okay, and these two refracted ray meet at O point virtually, right? Because they cannot meet in real. That's why this is the virtual image. So just look at here, ASP is dashed be a concave in a spherical separating rarer medium of absolute. So N1 is the absolute refractive index of this rarer medium and N2 is the absolute refractive index of this denser medium. Okay. Now here I is the virtual image of object O. Now angle OAC equals to I. Just look at here, OAC. OAC equals to I angle because this is incident angle, right? Angle between incident ray and normal. And NAB is R, which is refracted angle. If this one is refracted angle, then this one is also R. Just look at here, these two straight line intersect at point A. Which straight line? I, B and CN. These two straight line intersect at point A. That's why these two angles are opposite angle, and if this angle is R, then this one is also R. Here PO is object distance, which is minus U, PI is image distance, which is minus V, and PC is radius of curvature, which is also minus R, because all measurement have done along this side, right? Opposite to direction of ray. That's why all are negative. So let H be the height of the normal AM dropped from A on the principal axis. Here we have to take a perpendicular from A point, perpendicular on principal axis, which is coming from A point, right? So AN is the perpendicular on principal axis, and the length of AM is, here I am assuming that the length is H. Now in COA, just look at here, COA, in this triangle COA. So in this triangle, just look at here, this is gamma, this angle is beta, and this angle is alpha. Okay, so in OAC triangle, this angle is exterior angle, and we know exterior angle equals to sum of opposite to interior angle. That means we can write ACP angle equals to AOC plus OAC. That means alpha plus I equals to gamma. So I am writing here alpha plus I equals to gamma, and then I equals to gamma minus alpha. Acha, in triangle AIC, just look at here, AIC. In this triangle, this is also exterior angle. That means this angle equals to sum of this two interior angle. That means ACP equals to AIC plus IAC. That means gamma equals to R plus beta, because this is R and this is beta. So gamma equals to R plus beta, so R equals to gamma minus beta. Now from Snell's law we know sine of I by sine of R equals to n refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. That means n2 by n1. This is relative refractive index and these are the absolute refractive index. So sin I by sin R equals to absolute refractive index of second medium by absolute refractive index of first medium. So after cross multiplying we will get n1 sin I equals to n2 sin R. Here we have to assume that for spherical surface of small aperture, the point A will be close to pole P. These 2 points are very close to each other. Then the angles, that means all these angles, if these 2 points is very close to each other, that means angle I and angle R is very small. And due to this assumption, so you look at here, I and R will be small. If they are measured in radian, then we can write sin I equals to I and sin R equals to R. Hence, n1 I equals to n2 R. So, n1 into gamma minus alpha, we know I equals to gamma minus alpha and n2 into R equals to gamma minus beta. So, after multiplying n2 beta minus n1 alpha equals to n2 minus n1 gamma. So this is our equation 1. Now, if point A is close to point B, then the point M will also close to point P, right? If these 2 points are very close to each other, that means M and P is also very close to each other. And if M and P is very close to each other, then all these angles, gamma, beta, alpha, all angles are very small. And due to this assumption, we can write alpha equals to tan alpha, because tan alpha equals to, we know, sin alpha by cos alpha. Now if alpha is very small, then sin alpha equals to alpha and cos of very small angle equals to 1. So that means tan alpha equals to alpha when alpha is very small. So from this equation, alpha equals to, we can write tan alpha. So what is the value of tan alpha? You can see here tan alpha equals to, this is alpha, right? So we should take this triangle AOM. So we can write tan alpha equals to perpendicular, that means AM, by base, that means MO. So AM means H and MO, we can write MO equals to PO, because this two, due to our assumption M and P point is very close to each other, that means we can assume that AMA near equal to PO. So we can write tan alpha equals to AM by PO. So just look at here, tan alpha equals to AM by MO. We can replace MO by PO, that means AM by PO, which is equals to H by minus U, because PO is the object distance and here I am assuming that which is U. So alpha equals to H by minus U. Now what about beta? Beta equals to, we can take tan beta, and tan beta equals to, just look at here, from this triangle AIM, from this triangle we can write tan beta equals to AM by MI, right? And we can write MI equals to PI. So tan beta equals to AM by PI. What is PI? PI is the object distance. So just look at here, tan beta equals to AM by MI, AM by PI, H by minus V, because PI is the object distance. Gamma equals to tan gamma, and tan gamma equals to, from this right angle triangle ACM, we can write AM by MC, we can replace MC by PC. So that means tan gamma equals to AM by PC. So tan gamma equals to AM by PC, which is equals to H by minus R, because PC is the radius of curvature of this sphere. Substituting all these values in equation 1, we will get n2 of beta. We can write n2 into h by minus b, because beta equals to h by minus b. n1 into alpha, alpha equals to what? H by minus u. And in this side, n2 minus n1 into gamma, gamma equals to h by minus r. So after solving this, we will get n2 by minus n2 by v plus n1 by u equals to minus n2 minus n1 by r. If we take this negative sign along this side, then we will get n2 by v minus n1 by u equals to n2 minus n1 by r. If we assuming that n is the relative refractive index of denser medium with respect to rarer medium, then n equals to what? n2 by n1. Then the above equation becomes to just multiply both side by n1, divide both side by n1. So n2 by n1 by v minus n1 by n1 by u, n2 by n1 minus n1 by n1 by r. So you can see here, this one is n, right? n2 by n1 equals to n by v minus this one is 1 by u equals to n minus 1 by r. According to this formula, v does not depends upon alpha, right? So all rays starting from O after refraction at the concave surface of small aperture will appear to come from the same point I, that is, I is the virtual image of O. So you should remember this formula to solve numericals. Okay, that's it.